All right.
All right, friends. Let's get ready. Who's got your pom-poms? My kids have destroyed mine. I don't know where they are. It's very sad.
Okay.
I keep telling myself I'm going to bring some. Can't find them.
Reminder.
All right. We are starting off this week with a bang, you guys. We've got quite a few new VIPs. Starting off, Allie Hostin.
Woo!
Woohoo! Rosabelle Maureen. Maria Sanchez. Michelle Peoples. Cami Heath. Lori Davis. Trying to see all of our faces, see who's all on here. Danny. Go girl. Hunter Russell. Kelly Brown. Chelsea added 2. And I'm probably going to mess this name up. Yavonne, I say it right? She's added 2. Yay, go. And Alan Rodriguez has added 4. Look at him go. New silver ambassador, Alan Rodriguez. Woohoo! That's awesome, you guys. What a great way to start the week. All right. I am going to kick it over to Stephanie. Do you want to introduce your friend?
I can. This is my really good friend, guys, for years and years, Yvonne. And we could call her Bonnie. Her close loves call her Bonnie if that's easier for everybody. But she's just going to talk a little bit about her wins that she's had with Plexus. And man, she's doing good, adding her new ones today. Proud of you, girl. Take it over.
Unmute. Thank you so much, Steph. And yeah, you guys can call me Bonnie. That seems to be a lot easier for most people because I know that A throws everybody off. So yeah, I finally got 2 today, which is awesome. I was excited and really just, I think I got them just by living by example, you know, and just being persistent. And anytime somebody would share with me their problems, I would just kind of like, you know, throw it in a little bit like, oh, do you need Plexus? Like, oh, you need Plexus, you know, just kind of, I don't want to overwhelm them with it, but I just kept bringing it up. So yeah. Sorry, guys. I have a knock at the door. But yes, that kept going on there. 1 second, I'm so sorry.
Totally happens. We are all have crazy households going on.
It's real life, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone can do this, see?
Sorry, I have kids.
You're good, girl.
No, but it was really just being persistent. Like, for one, I ended up getting my sister to sign on and she's been telling me, you know, it's a little pricey. I want it, but she just saw like the change in me and how much energy I have. She's been, you know, telling me we went hiking and she could, you know, she didn't go very far with us. You know, we're like, you know what, you go ahead and just sit and we'll on the way back, we'll grab you, you know, and she's like, okay. So her husband noticed that. And then really was her husband seeing me as well. And he was like, you know what, just get it for her. If it's going to make her better. He's like, one thing I asked though, is that you push her and you motivate her. And I was like, what's great about Plexus is that there's like all you amazing women out there. You know, I told her in so many groups that you can be added to that they motivate you daily. Like they're checking on you, seeing how's it going. And they're like, hey, remember this, or this is going on. There's so many testimonies. I told her that really gets you to want to keep doing it, to want to keep you persistent. Because she's the kind of person that just, you know, tries things for a few days and says, it's not for me. So her husband was like, I'm tired investing in something for her and she doesn't do it. So I was like, I promise you, we're gonna make her do it. We're gonna make her and keep her steady and she'll start to see the changes. So that was one of them that I ended up getting. But really, I think it's just that I've learned so much from Stephanie because I told her that I felt like a little, I wouldn't say I would get annoyed, but I would just want some immediately for them to get on it, like because I was excited about it and I had to learn how to be patient with people, you know. And I feel like Stephanie is really good at that because I'm the kind of person like, okay, if you don't want it, then I'm gonna move on to the next person, you know. But just learning that I think it's going to be great for me in the long run. And honestly, there's a lot of people that's interested in it. It's working for me and I'm happy. I'm excited. My mood is different. So yeah, that's what I can share with you guys. I got to get better at this talking with you guys, but yes.
Yvonne, what has been the biggest like wins that you have seen? Like what led you to start Plexus
It
in
was
your
my
health?
breakouts, really. It was the breakouts that, and also my cycle, my monthly cycle was just a nightmare.
Mhm.
I would have horrible cycles to the point where like my husband's like, well, maybe you need like a partial hysterectomy, something, you're getting older, those kind of things. And I honestly had never had any health issues at all, but that was one thing that started slowing me down. And then I started getting breakouts and I started gaining weight. And it was literally one day to the next, which was crazy because I wasn't used to it. And then I just remember chatting with my friend with Steph, and I was like, oh, it just sucks getting old. And she's like, it don't have to be that way. And it still stuck with me because I tell people that it doesn't have to be that way. That just stuck with me forever. It's gonna be there forever.
Yeah.
Because it was true. It didn't have to be that way. So and it changed so much, you know.
How
So
long did it
yeah,
take with Plexus before you started kind of seeing your skin change?
I'm gonna say really like a month. And I noticed the moment because I did push it back. And I remember when I did that, it all started coming back. And I was like, oh my God, I was like, I'll never do it again. Like I can't live like this. Like, you know.
You're like, oh my gosh,
So
it's
yeah,
working.
yes. But like it was doing what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
How have you seen Plexus impact your monthly cycles?
You know what? You know how you usually get like, we're all women here. You usually get like symptoms, the bloating, the swelling, the cramps, you're just uncomfortable, the cravings. I don't get any of that anymore, like at all. I'm just like, like I told my sister, I was like, and she knew I suffered because I would complain to her because she's also, she works in the medical field as well. And I told her, sis, I don't get any of that anymore. Like I'm not even uncomfortable through my cycle. Like it's just went away. Like it's like a surprise now. And if I don't keep it like dated, it's a surprise. I'm like, oh, there you are. Because I'm not getting those cravings or that uncomfortableness before it even starts, you know?
That's
So it
interesting.
has definitely changed. It has definitely lined up my hormones. The only thing I wish is I would have got tested my hormones before I started, just so I could kind of like, show the levels and all that. And I didn't do that. And I really wish I would have did that. That's the only difference. But I can definitely see the change because I was suffering from that
Yeah.
tremendously. Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
I know people are wondering Mary has a question, but what products did you start with and what do you still
So
take?
I started off with the balance. I still need to remember the names. Like I keep taking pictures of them because I'm like, they're up here. My mother-in-law asked me last night and I took them all out of my shelf. Like, these are it. But definitely the balance. I don't know if you want to help me out, Steph. It was definitely the balance. I did do the detox, the box. I actually started off with that first. And I just figured do that to like cleanse your body and then kind of like reset yourself.
Yeah.
And it was the bio cleanse as well.
Yeah,
And then I
Steph.
did start taking,
She did the triplex, the reset, and the balance.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yes, all of those. But then I think last month I started the MetaBurn, and that's actually been helping a lot.
Oh yeah. What have you
With the
noticed
with
with
the
Metaburn?
pounds. I've
Yeah.
actually lost like 15 pounds.
Dang.
Okay, so how
Yes,
do you
and
take
I'm like,
Metaburn?
and I see my face is getting like thinner again.
I
How
can't
do
wait.
you take Metaburn? How many times a day do you take it and when?
I'm only taking it once a day in the morning before like I start my day.
So with no
Mhm.
food, you just drink it, you just take it?
Yeah, I just take it during the day, and then I'll have my breakfast after.
One or
Okay.
two capsules.
She said one. You said one, right?
Yeah, I'm just taking one in the morning.
Okay.
Okay.
I think these things are so helpful, you guys. And Yvonne, thank you for sharing because sometimes people hit plateaus or they see things like, their skin's better, their GI is better, but they want to lose weight or things like that, y'all. Metaburn can be an incredible boost for that. Metaburn, restore, adding balance, any of those things can really help. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. Does anybody have any other
Oh, you're
questions
welcome.
for Yvonne?
Yvonne, are you still taking triplex? Or are you still doing like the bio cleanse and the probio and slim?
Yeah, I stayed on all of that. Yes.
Good girl.
Yes.
I have a
Good.
question, but it's okay if you don't answer. Because I just want to know, because everything you said kind of sounded like someone over 40 will experience. And since I'm already there, I just want to know if that's your age. Like, are you over 40 already?
I'm getting there. I'm 38.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So it can happen before then. Okay.
And now Mary always tells me, she's like, just wait, 40's coming for you, because I'm 38 also. And I'm like, but you didn't have plexus. And we do.
Yeah, I wish I would have known earlier. Yes.
I know. Well, you guys go
Mhm.
follow Yvonne if you don't. She is sharing so incredibly. Like, I've loved seeing you share, and you're like rocking your confident swimsuit.
Thank
I just
you.
love it. Like, that's
Uh,
the joy, right?
We
Like,
have to do
that's
it
the
now before
overflow.
it's too late.
Right, right. It's incredible.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much for sharing and for being here and just being a part of this team. Like, I know we're going to be celebrating you achieving silver in the coming days, and that is just going to be the best celebration, because
That's
when else
awesome.
in life are you
Thank
celebrated
you.
for stuff like this, right? Like, it's so fun. So,
Right.
so thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, ladies.
All right, you guys, I am going to kind of jump into the next little like segment of this call, and I'm just going to preface it with this. So most of you know I was at Emerald Extravaganza this last week. It's why I look really, really tired. I got back from Hawaii at 5:39 this morning, and I've had an hour and a half sleep since yesterday morning at like 6 a.m. So I'm going to bed right after this call, but I wanted to be on here and I wanted to share with you some of the things. So for those of you who don't know, what is Emerald Extravaganza? So it's a contest in its simplest form. It's a contest that you are open to entering when you achieve Emerald, Sapphire, or Diamond with Plexus, which are the top 3 ranks in the company. So Emerald is kind of, when I started Plexus, it was like, oh my gosh, Emerald's like way out there. Like, my first goal was gold with Plexus. Like, if I could do that, then I could afford products for our whole family, right? And after gold, I was like, man, if I could go ruby, like, then I could actually like make this work to kind of be the income I bring into the home, and I can quit my other job. And then we saw Senior Ruby as the first time we'd have some margin in our budget as a family, which was really cool. But then Emerald was like, man, now we're going to be able to take like family vacations. And now we're going to be able to, if we needed a new car, we'd be able to afford it. It really is kind of the start of like 6-figure income with Plexus. You got a Lexus stipend or a stipend you can use for anything of your choice. Some people will buy like boats or like a minivan. Somebody has a Plexus minivan that they like have a little bumper sticker on that Plexus pays for that. I chose to get the Plexus Lexus when I achieved Emerald. And so what this is it's a contest for that level and above, okay? And when you achieve Emerald or higher, 5 months out of the calendar year, August through July. So we're like 1 month into this next Emerald Extravaganza contest, okay? So when you achieve Emerald the first time during that year, or if it's a consecutive year, 5 times in that year, you earn this trip, okay? Cool part, it's all expenses paid. So they pay for your flights. Usually you get a car bonus that you can use. We used it for a Honda Accord this time to drive around the island in. Super snazzy. Not really, but it was awesome and it got the needs done. They include parties and some of the meals they provide breakfast a couple of the days. And so really it's a vacation with a couple of meetings, and that's really cool. And so that's what Emerald Extravaganza is. And it is incredible and it is worth working towards. And in case you missed it, next year's Emerald Extravaganza will be September of 2025. And it is an Alaskan cruise. It is an Alaskan cruise, you guys. And here's the thing that you may not know. Typically, Emerald Extravaganza is 5 nights. So usually we add on 1 or 2 nights to that to make it a full week. But this is a 7-night Alaskan cruise. It's automatically off the bat 2 days longer. It's a full week vacation with you and a guest. It's a cruise, okay? So it's all expenses paid. Like maybe you do an excursion that you pay for or something, but like the flight there is paid for. The food, the rooms, all of those things are all paid for. So it's really an incredible trip, because whereas like a leaders retreat, maybe you have to buy your flight there, you have to budget, excursions and things like that. This really is a like total total trip for you and a guest. And so that's where I was. And it is rubbing elbows with some of the top leaders in the company. It is conversations with Tarl, which are always just a little, and Alec and Jean and just seeing people that you don't get to see often. But this trip was really cool because, y'all, what have we said about the trainings for the past several events? They have been totally in alignment and totally like on the path that we're on as a team. Like all the trainings that we've listened to, like you'll hear things and be like, oh my gosh, I just heard that last week, or oh my goodness, like, yes, like we've said that, or we say that, or that's kind of our team motto, or yes, like we're on that path. And this was no different. And so I want to just share with you some of the biggest things that stood out to me. Okay. And so I'm actually going to share my screen here in a little bit, but kind of like pace you through this. Okay. Because here's what I want you to leave with today. I want you to leave encouraged. I want you to leave with your belief a little bit higher. And I want you to leave with motivation and energy for your feet to move a little bit faster. Okay. So Amber Miller spoke. And you guys know I love Amber Miller. She's incredible. If you don't know her story, like you just need to go to YouTube and watch her videos. Long story short, her sponsor was hoping to enroll her to get to her mom, who had massive influence. Okay, pick that up. You guys, this is network marketing. I heard that and I was like, I've actually never thought about that. Who am I missing? Because I'm actually not leveraging network marketing. Her sponsor knew Amber and knew Lori was a person of massive successful influence. Helped Amber get started and said, Amber, I want you to get your mom to this event. This business is going to change like her life. And Amber brought her mom to an event. And Amber's mom went diamond in 11 months. You guys, Amber did not go diamond in 11 months. Amber was like senior gold or ruby with a diamond building jewels under her, who had been told, I really just wanted to enroll your mom through you, right? And she was like 22 when she started Plexus. She was young. She was a new wife. She was a new mom. And she had every reason in the book to be like, I'm probably just not going to be good at this. Oh my goodness. I feel so much shame. Look what she's done. I haven't been able to do that. Nobody needs me here. Right? But what she did is she said, you know what? I think I can do this. You know what? Like, I think I can learn and I think I can grow and I think I can be a really good leader. And it wasn't quick, it took time, but she's learned a whole lot along the way. And you guys, she name dropped some of the people on her team and you would never have known. Michelle's like, who is it? Y'all? Fallon Black. Brittany and Christina. Brooke Hemingway. Ava Schmidt. All of these people are under Amber. I know. I was like, what? Really? All of these, and if those names don't mean anything to you, like maybe not the top earner in the company, but like these are massively like powerhouse women who have built in multi-star diamond businesses, who like you don't even know who their sponsors are because they have just led so incredibly, right? Like you don't even know. And y'all, to be like little 23-year-old Amber Miller, like nobody needs me. Of course she thought that, right? Like look at those women who were coming up in her downline. But she chose a different thought. And so she talked a ton about how she re-entered. Okay, she re-entered less than a year ago. I think she re-entered in November or December. And she built Emerald in 6 months on her re-entry leg. And she talked about how she did that and she's sustaining Emerald and moving forward. Okay. And so I want to just encourage you to like put a note down, go find a training video about Amber Miller and her re-entry leg to Emerald, because I'm sure they're out there. But one of the things she said that I wanted to kind of start this little section off with is she said, you do not get paid for the amount of time you put into this business. You get paid for the amount of energy you put in. And I love that because I know I've had conversations here with different people. And I know when I first started, my husband wanted to know like, well, how much are you making an hour for your work? Right. And I loved this because sometimes it felt like that wasn't a good representation of what I was doing in Plexus. And then other times it did feel like that was a pretty good like, right? Like the more you grow, like you'll start doing less to earn more because you're impacting more people and the ripple is bigger. But especially in the beginning, it's the energy that you're being paid for. And so that's kind of the question I wanted to kind of start with is a pulse check. We're going to love how this goes into the next section about where is your energy? Where has your energy been? Okay, there are things, it's so funny, James and I talked about this the other day at Julie's house. There are things that take your energy, and there are things that give you energy. And you've got to make sure the things that give you energy are scheduled in, or else everything will take energy from you and you're never being replenished. Right? So that looks like, I know for Michelle, it's a morning workout, right? I mean, we've had that conversation where you're like, I don't know why I'm not working out in the mornings anymore. It's literally the thing that gives me energy, right? I know for some people, it's like a quiet time or prayer time. It's date night with your spouse. It's having margin in your day to have coffee with a friend. It's being present with your kids and going to the park, right? It's reading a women's Bible study or, whatever it is that you do. There's things that give you energy. And then there's things that take energy. What are some things that take your energy that you cannot control? You can type in the chat or unmute yourself. Yvonne's like laughing. Yeah, a partner, kids, sickness, patience, Jen. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know Kelly and I've had conversations where she's like, it's just been a really hard day. Like, it's just been a really hard day, right? And like, that's real in the nursing world for sure. You don't get to like, today I'm going to have all patients that give me energy and it's going to be great. Like, no. Friends that don't understand. Preteen angst. Yes. Yes. I do not have daughters, but I lived with one for the last 3 days and it was wild. Julie's like, yes, no. Puppy training, yes. Clients, family, y'all. Our cycle. How about that? Sadie said that was a knee slapper, like the tentacles joke. We'll have Sadie finish us out with her joke. Yeah, y'all, like real things. Adrenals. How many of y'all learned something about adrenal fatigue today? And you were like, those are the symptoms of adrenal fatigue? Huh, who knew? What about working a job that you don't really want to work? Right? But you gotta. Y'all, there's so many things that take energy, and if we're not being conscious of what's giving us energy, even in plexus, y'all, sometimes IPA takes energy to do the reach outs, all of those things. So what do you love doing in plexus? Sadie just said something and Julie's dying laughing and I don't know what it is. What are the things that give you energy in plexus? Like, what are the things that you love doing? Are you energized leaving these calls? Okay. Are you energized after our Thursday night testimony event? Are you energized after a phone call with a customer? Are you energized when you're having more conversations about plexus? Because the only way you get more conversations is by doing the low energy work, which is opening doors, talking to people, right? Doing those things. And so it really is a fine line. And so you got to start there with energy, because if you don't have energy, like high energy, the rest of this really is going to go in one ear and out the other. Because what happens when you have low energy is then it leads to the conversations of, I'm doing all of the things and nothing's moving forward. I'm checking every box. It leads to burnout. When you have low energy, that's how it leads to burnout, because you're checking every box. You want to do all the things. You want to move forward, but you don't have the energy, right? And you're not doing the high energy things, and you're not making date nights and workouts and coffee dates a priority, right? All that. And so the energy matters. And then Jordan Roddenberry came up, and this was a really cool segment because she developed a new emerald this year, Jordan Gibson. And Jordan Gibson got up and was talking about her journey to emerald. And Jordan and I had a conversation at the beach, Gibson, that just went emerald in May or June, maybe June. And she was saying that, they were really running towards emerald from like April, and they grew in May, and she ended at like 1,300. And she just knew, she was like, I can't push where I'm not going. And then they kind of reset at the end of April, beginning of May. They figured out where she was. They knew where she wanted to go, and they made a map and they made a plan, and they knew the things that needed to happen. And she went emerald the next month. And I think only energy can carry you to do something. Like, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever worked hard for something and not achieved it, and the next month just like hands off, right? Drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever worked for something and achieved it, and the next month been like hands off. Like, right? Sometimes we achieve and sometimes we don't achieve, but we've put so much energy out there and we haven't been filling up that we can't carry it through. And I think that's really what we see happening in this business, where you see people like running really hard, and then whether they do or don't, they're just like, where'd they go? Like, where'd they go? Right? It's because filling up with energy was not a priority. And I love that, like, you can't pour from an empty cup analogy, because you can't. But then Jordan Roddenberry got up there and she was like, do y'all want to know how I coached Jordan and how I coached my team. And I actually wanted to talk about this here because we have time and there's like 21 of us here on this call and I can't have 21 phone calls. But I want all of you to have this information because you're going to see things and you're going to be like, oh, we've talked about this. Like, oh, Traci told me that, or oh, my sponsor told me that. But maybe I didn't like get it, or like maybe I didn't actually like, oh, that's my main goal right now. And so one of the things that Jordan was talking about, Jordan Roddenberry, y'all, she's Jordan Gibson's sponsor. That's not confusing at all. They really shouldn't let you sponsor people with your same name because it gets really confusing. And she said, the first thing we had to do is we had to figure out, where are you? And she said, you know how like when you used to go to the mall and if it was like a new mall, you'd walk in and what would you immediately look for? The map. You guys, I go to the mall and I still look for the map. And if I can't find it, I'm pulling up my phone and being like, is it going to show me what stores are where on my phone, like maps app? You look for the map because you've got to know, where the heck am I? Am I by Macy's? Am I by Dillard's? Like, where is the shoe store that I want to go to? Where is the lingerie store that I want to go to? You always want to go to like one or two things, right? And you've got to know where you are to know where you want to go. Otherwise, you're probably going to go the wrong way. And so this idea of where is your red dot? Where are you in your Plexus business? If you were to say like, you are here, where is that? And here's the thing that I want to say about this, because Jordan and I were talking later and I was like, this is so good, because what I have a tendency to do and what I know others have a tendency to do is like, they'll be like, so, I'm just gonna like make this up. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna like pretend I was like a senior Ruby back at Ruby Points when that was happening. So I'm a senior Ruby and I've got like 5 people I'm working to help share. And, 4 of them are gold and they're working to move forwards. And you guys, the reality of the situation was this. I was a Ruby, points wise, who had achieved the rank of senior Ruby. And I had Michelle and I had Allie, and everybody else was gone with the wind. But for some reason, I kept holding on to them because it made me feel good. Okay. And so I think sometimes we've just got to look at, you are here. And so the first question I have is, where are you in your business? Where is your red dot? What is the reality of your business right now? And you guys, I'm going to talk about this a little bit, but there is no shame. Okay. It really helped me, instead of saying, I'm a senior Ruby, but I'm not maintaining rank, I would say, I'm a Ruby who has achieved senior Ruby before. Now, you don't lose rank with Plexus, okay? Your name tag's still going to say that, all those things. But in my head, it really helped me to look at the positive. I am a Ruby. That's a really good thing, you guys. Who has before achieved senior Ruby? I'd done it once, I could do it again. Okay. But every time I said I'm a senior Ruby, but I'm not maintaining rank, I felt victimized and I wanted to give excuses. Like every time I said that, I'd be like, well, but like, it's because she quit, or like, it's because, I don't know, whatever the excuses. I'm sure you're thinking of 1,000 things in your head right now that she said she was going to do this and she didn't do it, or, whatever it is. They got abducted by aliens, whatever, but it helped me to see, no, this is where I am. Right now, I'm an emerald who is very solid in her business and has gotten very close to sapphire at times. You see how that's different from like, I'm not sapphire yet, but I've gotten close a couple of times. That it twists everything. And you cannot have shame in this business for falling backwards, for losing runners, for not being where you thought you'd want to be, for it taking longer than you thought it would take, for not earning trips, or, oh my gosh, y'all, whatever the shame is. Shame for not sweeping the contest. Shame for not re-ranking. Shame for not enrolling 3. Plexus did something really, really cool at EE this year. They don't ever honor the sapphires because the sapphires, like, you know, like at EE, as an emerald, you earn Emerald Extravaganza. As a diamond, you earn Diamond Destination. But there wasn't really anything for anybody who had maintained sapphire 5 months of the year. And this time they did a sapphire banquet. Well, you guys, there were diamonds who were like, now everybody's going to know I'm only maintaining sapphire. There's shame that can be found at every turn of the road. Like, you don't get to diamond and never deal with shame anymore. You don't get to diamond reentry and never deal with shame anymore. You're not even a double diamond and not. There's solid diamonds who didn't earn leaders retreat because their businesses weren't structured that way. Like, you cannot have shame for that. But what do? And this is where we're going to talk about 3 buckets. And y'all, I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next, like, we're going to be done by 8:45. Okay. So just hang with me, but 3 buckets, and you can screenshot this. Okay. So like, I want you to think about this for you. And I want you to think about this for your people. So bucket number 1 is the consistent bucket. They go hard on recruiting. They have about 20 level 1s ordering. Their systems are not duplicating and new rank ups are not happening. But every month their points are within about 20 to 30 of each other, right? Like, it's just real steady. And y'all, this is honestly, like, this is where I was for a really long time. I was very consistent in my business, but new rank ups weren't happening. And this is part of the you are here, right? So ask yourself, are new rank ups happening? Monthly, multiple monthly. Are people duplicating the systems? Okay. So what do you need to do? This is, if you're like, oh, I'm the consistent one. Yes, that's me. This is your game plan. Go hard on recruiting. Double your level 1s ordering. You guys know how to see your level 1s ordering. I know we've talked about that a lot. In your virtual office under points and rank up, there's a bar graph. That's how you see how many level 1s you have ordering, and you can change the month at the top to see how many it is month to month. Double your level 1s ordering. If there's 20 right now, make your goal before the end of the year 40. If you have 10 right now, make your goal before the end of the year 20. If you have 40 right now, make your goal before the end of the year 80. Okay. If you're in this consistent bucket, encourage your active business builders to focus on rank advancements. So who could go silver? Who could go senior silver? Who could go gold? Are you helping them make a plan for that? Raise up your level 1s in leadership, maybe through a book study or giving them places to lead. Help them get out of their comfort zone and set goals regularly. So what do you want this week to look like? What would feel like success this week? Is it 1 enrollment? Is it 2 enrollments? And I'm going to say that your success margin should start including enrollments also, not just action, but follow through. So that's the first bucket, consistency. And then bucket 2, you guys, these are the people who are super deep, and what they're doing isn't really impacting their business. This was really where I was when I was a Ruby who had achieved senior Ruby before. I had very solid legs in Michelle and Allie, and they were working to grow. And some of y'all will remember, I really made the shift a couple of years ago. I've got to develop new golds. I've got to develop new golds. I've got to develop new golds. And so everything, I became obsessed with developing new golds. I became obsessed with watching how to develop golds, how to develop silvers, how to talk about the business, how to ask people to share. I would go to YouTube and just search, and really said, I'm going to give this year of 2023 to developing golds. And there were 4 new gold legs in 2023. But it started in 2022 saying, this is going to be a major, major focus of mine. And that's where Mary and Kelly came from. I mean, you guys, Mary and Kelly were very persistent follow-ups. They were like people that I knew they could do this. I knew they were people of influence. I knew they were like hard workers. I didn't doubt that Mary or Kelly would be able to do this, but I knew that they probably doubted that they would be able to do this. And so that's where I had to bridge the gap and just, I knew my goal. This is my goal. My goal is not to be a top enroller. I was enrolling about 3 to 4 a month, but I had to leverage those 3 to 4 enrollments and leverage happy customers to find those people who are going to go gold. So let your runners fly and go develop 2 new gold legs. Drop a 1 in the chat if your goal is to create 2 new gold legs in the next 2 months. Yeah. And then you have to ask yourself, am I doing the things? Am I like obsessed with that in a healthy way? Like, am I obsessed with that with trainings and everything I'm doing? Am I doing bold business asks? Am I following up with those people like they want it, but they don't think they can do this? And so I'm going to have to constantly be reminding them, affirming them, pouring that over them, partnering with them in this. Because my greatest goal is to develop 2 new gold legs. Okay. So that's the like super deep. And then the third bucket is super wide. So you guys, these are the big recruiters. These are, you may be super wide if you have anywhere between 40 and 60 level 1s already ordering pretty consistently. This may be you if you came in and went senior gold pretty much by yourself, or you came in and went Ruby pretty much by yourself. This might be you if you came in and went gold and have really struggled with duplication and you're maintaining gold, but it's relatively by yourself. Like this is kind of where you'd look super wide. These are the big recruiters and oftentimes the people of influence. So here's the steps there. Identify what you're doing with your time. Teach your team how to help themselves with systems and resources. So one of the things she was saying that they have issues with on the wide is that they feel valued by being needed. And so they're not helping anybody grow in leadership by telling them where to find things themselves. Does that make sense? So it's like when somebody asks for a video or asks for a diamond doc or asks for product info or where do you, it's instead of saying, hey, go find it here, it's here it is. Here it is. Here it is. And so just kind of look at that for yourself. Get clear on your team culture and then set clear expectations for your team calls and training. So a lot of the super wide becomes just social hours, happy hour type things where you're just socializing, having fun, or maybe you don't even have a team yet. And so you're just plugging into things for socialization and fun. Okay. And so these were some of the things that she really talked about. And specifically, Jordan was talking about 3 of her jewel legs that she's working on coaching or up and coming jewels. But I thought, oh my gosh, did each of you see yourselves in one of those buckets? And you're like, okay. Yeah, this is helpful. This makes sense. You can't focus on duplication if you're not recruiting. Okay. If you're stuck at silver with 3 people, yeah, you want to duplicate, but depending on how long you've been there, you just need to get obsessed with learning how to share vulnerably, sharing your story, enrolling, how to enroll, how to have conversations about the products confidently, how to close conversations, like confident close, Plexus. Like this is what I would search on YouTube. Closing the sale, Plexus. Sharing the products, Plexus. Like any of those things, how to go senior silver, Plexus, how to go gold, Plexus. Like I just, you know, when things become normal and like, you're like, oh, I guess I am kind of obsessed with that, but I don't actually think it's an obsession. When Jordan was sharing, she was like, we trade out TV for YouTube. Like I'm watching YouTube videos instead of TV. I'm listening to podcasts instead of the radio. When I go for a walk, I'm listening to a training or catching up on something there, something that is going to allow me to help more people and help myself grow in this business. You guys, Plexus isn't the most important thing, but it is an important thing because I'm looking at all of these faces and I know your goals. Like I know what you want this to be. And so while this is not like, should not be causing like feuds in the home, right? You should not be ignoring your children to do that, right? There's things like you've got to have boundaries and priorities, but like this is an important thing. And if you want to grow, it may take a little bit of obsession towards the thing that you need to grow in. Whenever I've been at a place where I'm not where I want to be, I've learned sometimes the hard way that 100% of the time, it's something I can grow in that's holding me back. It's never actually been everybody else, okay? It's always been me. It's always been me. It's been an area I've been unwilling to grow in. It's been a sacrifice I've been unwilling to make. It's been time that I wasn't making a priority. It's been fear of bothering people. It's been, right? It's been one of these things. I'm the problem, but I'm also the solution. Exactly, Michelle. And then the last thing she said, and I thought this was so good, is she said, and I want to encourage you to make your reach out list based on the culture you want and start going after those people. You guys stop trying to recruit people that do not have the culture, like, right? Positive vibes, like hardworking, like not afraid of like, you know, a no or anything like that, right? Go after the people that have the culture that you want. Like that you see and you're like, oh, she's our people, right? And that doesn't mean there's not room for anybody else. But it means those are the ones I'm looking for, y'all. Right now, I am messaging with purpose people that I think could actually go gold from posting. That like they have influence, high influence, they have high trust, they have high work ethic, they have high integrity, they have high energy. Like those are the people I'm sending bold business asks to. Because it is not fun to drive people. And there have been seasons of my business where I've not gone after high energy people because it felt safer to go after low energy people that maybe I could like convince to do this. And that drains me real quick. Real quick. Now you're going to have to send more messages to those high energy, high quality, like high influence people. And it's going to take way more follow-up. Like Kelly took so much more follow-up because like I knew she was actually like really considering this. Like Allie, it was like a year of like talking with her. Michelle, it was like, well, you ignored me for a little bit, but it was like 4 or 5 months. Like, and I'm not saying anything that was quick is bad, but like Like, I was quick. I joined and 2 weeks later I started sharing. It's not always the case, right? But I'm saying, like, it's going to take more effort from you. And one of the things that I think Paige did a really good job of with me is the moment I started giving energy there, she was like she almost became obsessed with me being successful in a healthy way, right? Celebrating every day. Oh my gosh, I saw you enrolled somebody. This is incredible. Like, personal messages, not just shout outs. How did you know them? Okay, do you have any questions? Like, wow, that's just right. Like, that belief. Hey, I noticed it's been like a couple of weeks since you enrolled anybody, but that's kind of odd. Is everything going okay? Do you have some questions? It's that obsession almost. But I feel like obsession gets a negative context, so I don't really know the right word, but it's just that, like, focused effort on what you want. I think about it like when I was learning how to shoot free throws, and my coach was like, if you miss a free throw in a game, you're going to run 10 suicides, right? And I was like, okay, I'm going to become obsessed with learning how to shoot free throws. So we mapped it out on the driveway and we marked it. And like every single day I was out there shooting free throws. And I can still, like, 25 years later, go out there and be like, okay, there we go. Not running 10 suicides, because I knew what was at stake. Back then it was losing the game for the whole team, right? Now it's not getting where you want to go, or something like that. What you focus on expands. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to talk about, y'all, and then we're going to hop off. Ben Nemtin, Nemtin, spoke. He is like a guy who made a bucket list with friends and they just started doing it. Like, they just started doing it. And he had a couple of really good takeaways, and I'm just going to read this. He said, being true to yourself not only brings you the most happiness, but it brings you the most success. Is what you're doing in Plexus true to you? Are you holding back? I don't think any of us are acting in a way that is not us. But I look at this screen and I'm like, oh, I think most of us are holding back. Why? It's going to bring you the most happiness and it's going to bring you the most success. 76% of people regret not living my life for me, but living it for what others expected. You guys, what is your biggest dream? Maybe it's not even in Plexus. What is your dream day? What does it look like? Why is it worth it for you to be on a call that went over with me to hear this training? Why? Right? What is it that you want so badly that you think this can offer you? And what would it look like to operate out of high energy and full belief that you can achieve that in the next year? You guys, people are still doing it. People are still going from 100 points to Emerald in 6 months. People are still going from Emerald to Sapphire in 1 month. People are still going from 0 to gold in 30 days. People are still duplicating and finding people to share and helping those people share too. But I think when I look at the big picture and I look at, like, man, how did she do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did Amber Miller re-enter and go Emerald in 6 months? And not just like chasing order emeralds, you guys, like duplication, developing golds, and sustaining forward. Like, it's an obsession. But I think maybe the obsession is like the belief that you can. And everything that outpours from that. And so life happens. There's going to be things that take our energy tomorrow, tonight, probably, heck, right? There's going to be those things. But like, what do you need to do right now before bed that's going to set you up for tomorrow? What do you need to implement tomorrow that's going to increase your energy, that's going to increase your belief, that's going to increase your output? And then how do you have the accountability to keep doing that day to day to day to day? You guys operate out of the fullest self of who you are, of who God created you to be. I think if we can do that and know exactly where we are with no shame and no frustration, just a reality of like, I'm a really solid senior silver who at one point was a really solid gold. And I know I can do it again. I'm a solid senior gold. And I know I'm headed towards ruby. Instead of the negative. I've been senior gold for 3 years, right? Y'all, some of us have been at our ranks for a long time. And we just look at the negative. And we make it mean something. And so right now, I just want you, if you're like, okay, like we're not doing that anymore. Say like in the chat, shame has no hold over me. The glass is half full. And I know where I'm going. You like type that out. Shame has no hold over me. The glass is half full and I know where I'm going. You guys, that is the perspective we take. It can be really easy to see people earning leaders retreat, or you see people, I'm like, you really? There's a way? Like, man, okay, I'm not. Right? We got to have these blinders on, but we also have to get really clear about what we want to happen this month. And then we operate out of that. And we all rise. Who can rank up this? Who can get to 150 PV? Who can you help enroll and duplicate? Right? All of these things we keep asking ourselves. But you got to do it every day. And you've got to have those parameters around you, and you've got to bring in accountability, and you've got to do those things. So EE was like the best thing ever for me. And I'm coming back so full. So full. A little bit tired, but so full. And I want that energy to like come to you. Like I want you to take some of that energy. And I truly, like I want you to tell yourself tonight before bed, like, gosh, man, like if Traci can do that, I can do that. You guys know me. If I can do this, you can do this. And that's the best part about this with Plexus. If we can do this, they can do this. If they can do this, we can do this. Nobody's going to do it for us. We're all going to go to the Bahamas together. Okay? So your homework tomorrow is to take the notes you took and answer some questions. Okay? And send those to your sponsor or your accountability partner and loop them in on where you're at. Where's your you are here? Where are you going to Dillard's? Are you going to Nordstrom's? Are you going to the sporting goods store? Where are you going this month? Where are you going this contest, right? Where are you going this year? What bucket were you in with Jordan from that bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3? And where are you going to become obsessed right now? A healthy obsession, not like stalking. Okay. A good obsession. Where are you going to become obsessed right now? What is that going to look like for you? And then loop somebody in. Okay. 17 of us, we're going to loop somebody in to where we're at. Okay. But we're also going to know that that accountability isn't what makes us operate. What makes us operate? It's a word that starts with E. Or energy. Yes. Accountability is nothing without energy. Okay. So that's where we go from here. You guys, we've got 7 days left in the month. A lot can happen in 7 days, but nothing will happen to you in 7 days. Like in this business, nothing's just gonna be like, didn't see that coming. Oh. No, you can make waves in 7 days, but you're gonna be in the hot tub. Did y'all do this when you were little with the boogie boards, like making the whirlpools or like running in circles? Like that's your job for the next 7 days, to make the waves. And then when you get to October 1st, which is crazy that October's here, you're gonna be like, look at all those waves. And somebody's gonna be like, look at all those waves. And you're gonna be like, did you see me running in circles for the last 7 days? That's why there are waves, right? But you have to be in the hot tub, running, making waves. What I do, or what your sponsor does, or what your sideline does, you may get like a little bit of the off wave of that, but it's not going to be like if you were making waves. So, y'all, that's all I've got. I'm really excited. I went like 20 minutes over, but I know you love me and it's all good. Because y'all, this is what it's about. Like, this is what it's about, having calls where you can leave here and be like, okay, I'm not alone. Like, I'm not alone. There's other people in the same bucket I'm in. Yay. There's other people who thought they were here, but really they're here. And right now they're leaving and they're choosing not to be discouraged. Discouragement's a choice. They're choosing not to be discouraged, but they're choosing to be like, well, praise God, now I actually know where I am. Not going to get lost on my way there now. Okay? They know where they are. You know where you are, so that you know where you can go. Okay? So, Allie, will you pray for us? And then we're going to get out of here. Pray for Mary Carmen. She's heading to DC tomorrow.
That's so fun. I love DC. Yes, I will pray.
Mary, tell us real quick, why are you heading to DC?
DSA, Direct Sales Association. It's the Direct Sales Day at Capitol Hill tomorrow. And I was invited to go with few of Plexus people. I'm so honored. So I'm really excited to represent Latino community and go with Robin Sullivan is on his last name. What's his last name again?
Robin Kahn.
Kahn. So there are other people that are going. I don't know who they are, but I'm super excited. I know she's going. So
Love that, Robin.
yeah,
That's
I have to go
awesome.
back, and it's gonna be a 7 o'clock in the morning flight. So I'm super excited and super excited. Pray for me, guys.
Yes, yes, we will. What an honor, Mary. I love it. Okay. Dear Lord God, we just thank you so much for tonight. I thank you for Traci and just the full cup that you allowed her to come back with, to just pour out over us. Lord, I pray that you would help us to mind our energy. Lord, will you give us an extra dose of energy and confidence and boldness this week as we step out, as we quit hiding in insecurity and fear and all the things. Lord, will you help us to walk in obedience? And Lord, will you bring people into our path? Will you give us eyes to see them and them eyes to see our posts and our stories? And Lord, will you just give us favor? Help us to impact lives, not only with health, but also with finances, Lord. We need you and we trust you with the next 7 days, Lord. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Good night, y'all.
Good night.